One of the most viral voices and one of the most aggressive on this issue has been J. Sai Deepak, who is a well-known lawyer, historian, and also an author of several best-selling books. He joined me just a short while ago here on India Today to talk specifically about what Udhayanidhi Stalin had said. This is a video, this is an interview that's already making waves on the internet. Here's where J. Sai Deepak speaks about the Sanatana Dharma comment by Udhayanidhi Stalin. A comment that was made by Udhayanidhi Stalin, which I'm sure you've already seen, about Sanatana Dharma, where you know, just for the benefit of our viewers, he said it should be eradicated like malaria and dengue and I think COVID as well. What did you think about that comment? Because he's been defiant. He said that I did not mean Hinduism or Hindus. I meant the caste system, and nobody can make me retract my statement.
I think that untrained, unlettered scion of the DMK family, not the party, has bitten off more than he can chew. And he will certainly face the consequence for it, politically, legally, and socially. And it's important that he faces the consequence of it, because notwithstanding the fact that his statement is absolutely consistent with the anti-national, anti-Bharat, anti-Hindu DNA of the DMK, it's time that this issue got traction, because as much as people know about the post-exodus of Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmiri Hindus from the valley under the threat of the gun, people don't know the conditions in which Hindus live in the state of Tamil Nadu under a rabidly fascist Dravidinist regime. Because ultimately, if you go to the history of the origins of this regime or this ideology, so to speak, their ideologue, their founder, E.V. Ramaswamy, toured Europe before he founded the Dravida Kazhagam, which is the social organization founded by him. And he drew significantly from the fascists of Italy and from the Nazis of Germany. Or rather, at least the far-right ideologies that were prevalent at that particular point of time. Nazis were still not in existence around that period. So the point I'm trying to make is, DMK is revealing its true neo-Nazi fascist tendencies, because it has a tendency to attack the softest possible punching bag in the history of modern independent Bharatiya Republic, which is Hindus.
Do you think the reaction to what he said should have been greater than what it has? Because one side of the...
Without a doubt.
What do you think should have happened? What do you think needs to happen?
At the very least, when people who took umbrage to what the Tigress Nupur Sharma said on television should have perhaps meted out the very same treatment in terms of legally prosecuting this particular gentleman. And most importantly, even if I don't have any kind of expectations from, let's say, free agents and independent individuals, I would certainly have an expectation from the judiciary, which was happy taking so much cognizance of quite a few statements when those statements affected other communities. Here's a statement that's been issued by a political functionary, a cabinet minister of a particular state, who's sworn an oath on the constitution, and he has issued a statement against 80% of the population of this country. Hopefully, we are still 80%. And I hope the Supreme Court takes so much cognizance of this system, of this particular instance as well, because that would reinforce or restore the confidence of people in the independence of the judiciary and its fair-mindedness.
You know, Sai Deepak, among the many reactions that have come out to either justify what Udhayanidhi Stalin has said or to shield him from the harsh comments that have been coming his way, is that Sanatana Dharma, the way it is understood in Tamil Nadu, is the caste system. So you can't spin it any other way, and you can't blame Udhayanidhi for saying something which is a sentiment that is prevalent, you know, in Dravidian politics. How would you respond to that? Because every time he's been confronted with, you know, the criticism of his comments, he said, I meant the caste system. Is this the caste system that he was talking about?
Frankly, I think it's a load of hogwash, pardon me for the French. But all these justifications, let him offer this in a court of law, because when he made the statement, it had no caveat, it had no explanation, it had no disclaimer. So these ex post facto justifications don't hold water, they don't cut ice. Let him answer and submit himself to a court of law, as and when he is called up in a court of law for the statement that he's made.
Now the question that continues to loom over the Bharat versus India issue is something that is going to continue to buzz in the run-up to that special session of Parliament on the 18th to the 22nd of September. Is it going to come up? I don't think so. I'm putting my money out there and saying there is no decision to rename India. I also spoke to lawyer and best-selling author J. Sai Deepak, the second segment of my viral interview with him, where I asked him about Bharat. And he's someone who knows a thing or two about it because he's literally written books, including one called India, that is Bharat. Take a look. And joining us now is J. Sai Deepak. He's a lawyer at the Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court. He's also the author of two best-selling books. One of them is called India, that is Bharat. The other is called India, Bharat and Pakistan. So he knows more than a thing or two about what we're talking about right now. Sai Deepak, thank you very much for your time and for joining us here on India Today. My first question to you is for an opening comment on the headline of the day, which was triggered by, a small glimpse of an invitation issued by the president of the country, where the word Bharat was used instead of India. What did you think of that, first off?
Frankly, I was extremely happy to see that. I wasn't sure if it was for real or was it apocryphal, but turns out that this could indeed be the case. And I think quite a few framers of the Constitution who were keen on naming this country Bharat or Bharatvarsha stand finally vindicated. I'm happy that this move has happened. While most people are bound to see this as a mere cosmetic move, I think naming as part of Bharatiya culture or Namkaran is an extremely important act. And therefore, reversion to your cultural or your civilization name is a huge sign of self-confidence on the part of the civilization and the part of the Bharatiya state. I'm happy that finally this dispensation has done something which was long pending.
Because
let's hope they're doing it.
Yes, Sai Deepak, because apart from that invitation from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, there has been no announcement as such from the government itself. Most of what we've seen is mostly speculation and extrapolation from that one image. The title of one of your books is India, that is Bharat. That's the first line of Article 1 of the Constitution, which very clearly mentions both India and Bharat. So the question arises, does any renaming even need to happen if India and Bharat both exist? Can't they be used interchangeably?
So they are being used interchangeably, but the fact of the matter is, when it was originally proposed, the draft provisions spoke exclusively of India. Then several amendments were proposed by members. I think even the father of one of the MPs from Puri, I think Pinaki Mitra's father, was among the ones to suggest amendments to the effect that India must be replaced either with Bharat or Bharatvarsha. Dr. Ambedkar worked out a compromise solution where he retained India and Bharat, and he said India, that is Bharat. Despite which there were several disagreements to the effect that why should a country have two names? Why do we suffer from this split personality or this multiple personality disorder, which other self-respecting civilization continues to address itself and call itself by the name given to it by the colonizer? Now, I don't wish to get into the antecedents of it, but the consensus to a significant extent was that we should revert to either Hindustan or Bharatvarsha. Bharat was deemed more appropriate, but Dr. Ambedkar chose to work out this particular solution. I don't think it's a problem to use either interchangeably from an operational perspective. The larger meta question that I think we should be asking ourselves is, why should we have two names in the first place? What is the purpose here?
So are you saying that the government should move ahead and pass a resolution saying Bharat should be the official name of the country from now on and not India, that two names should stop being the norm now?
Parts of the book that if you do not even have the civilizational confidence to revert to your original name, then what exactly are you conveying to the world in terms of your aspirations of becoming a Vishwaguru? Second, I'm sure there are quite a few people who might say, Naam mein kya rakha hai, we should focus on development, so on and so forth. Every self-respecting civilization post-political independence has chosen to go back to its own roots, to its own culture. This civilization, which is perhaps the oldest, has not had the confidence to do so for the last 75 years. I'm happy that this too is happening. I wouldn't say that this is a be-all and end-all, because at the end of the day, apart from the name, the spirit and the letter both must go hand in hand. So let's hope that even the spirit of Bharat is restored to its original spirit.
There are those who will wonder about the implications of abruptly dropping a name like India, Sai Deepak. Wouldn't there be a lot of work to do if you suddenly switch from India and Bharat to just Bharat?
Nobody asked this question of the DMK when they changed from Madras to Chennai. Nobody asked this question of the Shiv Sena when they changed Bombay to Mumbai. So why shouldn't it apply to the macro entity which is Bharat itself? What is so wrong about it? If people are comfortable giving all sorts of reasonable justifications for reversion to Kolkata, to Mumbai and to Chennai, why do they have a problem with India being reverted to Bharat?